Every year, thousands of students walk into their GCSE exams and still fail. It's not about intelligence or effort. There's a deeper reason, one that's subtle but powerful. It all comes down to one trait that schools don't teach. For those of you who are new to the channel, hi, I'm Varjod. I'm the founder of Mobile Tutors, and every year we help thousands of students increase their GCSE and A-level grades. I scored 98% in most of my GCSE and A-levels, and I hold a first-class degree from the London School of Economics in Business, Maths and Statistics. So let's get into it. Every year, thousands of students revise, attend all their lessons, and also do everything they're told, but they still fail. Now, why is this the case? Well, because effort alone isn't enough. There's a missing piece. It's not intelligence and it's not luck. Now, my team and I have worked with thousands of students over the last 5 years, and I can tell you from experience, the number one trait top achievers have is simply independence. Now, before you skip this video, let me explain. So what is independence? Well, firstly, let me make it clear that independence doesn't mean doing everything on your own. What it means is taking ownership of your learning. Now, as I mentioned before, we've worked with thousands of students, and I can confidently say the number one characteristic that will tell me if a student will do well is their level of independence. It's the ability to be proactive, think for yourself, plan your own study, and act rather than being told what to do. This isn't just some study skill or another tip, it's about a mindset. Independent students don't rely on teachers to save them, they ask questions and they go beyond the textbook. These students go and do things themselves to go and improve their grades, and ultimately they take control of their success. This is about an attitude of being a go-getter rather than waiting for things to come to you. Now, of course, this doesn't mean you have to learn everything yourself, but what it does mean is be independent and take action to get the support you need. Now I've explained what independence is, let me give you some examples so you can better understand what I'm on about and just stop thinking this is some nonsense. So the first way top achievers are independent is that they ask their teachers and tutors questions. This is real independence, as you know yourself what you need help with, and then you go and seek that support. Students who do this are the top achievers, as they simply take control. I've rarely seen a student ask so many questions and then never be amongst those who get the best grades. Now, another example is that independent students do their homework and do their own extra study without being forced by a parent to do so. Those students who build the right habits of doing their own work without someone else will always perform better than those students who are being forced to do so. And this is just a fact. As a student, you need to realize yourself the importance of working hard, the importance of the exams, and getting good grades. You need to have your goals and ambitions set, otherwise the exams will just feel like a waste of time, and in the process you're always going to feel forced to study. The top students have their goals set and are independent to work on these. This is because then they have automatic motivation to want to go and achieve these goals. And lastly, independence also applies when a student does their own research to think and plan ahead. GCSE students shouldn't wait for a teacher to be told to do X, Y, and Z. They should already research and plan ahead what they need to do. Now you might ask, how should I know what I need to do? And the answer is fairly simple, and it's actually not that hard. As a student, you should research what needs to be covered. So if it's a certain subject like maths, English, or science, you should go ahead and do that research. And this is showing real independence. The fact that you're researching and finding out what needs to be covered, then at least once this is done, you can actually go ahead and make a plan on how to cover this. Of course, I don't expect you to know all the content, but if you do your research and you know what needs to be covered, this is a good step because now you can go ahead and get the answers that you need. So this is simply the key to GCSE success. It's about being a go-getter and taking control of what you need to do. And it all comes down to being independent and not being forced or told what to do. So as I said before, independence is not just some skill, it's a mindset. And put simply, it's the winning mindset. Not just for GCSEs, this applies for all exams, and not just exams alone. This mindset applies to the whole of life. Now, I know not all students care as much about GCSEs, although I would argue they are extremely important. But let's say you don't care, for example. Even then, in life, you still need this trait of independence in order to succeed. So the goal is to build this trait now so that later on in life, it will help you in every single aspect. Now, firstly, let me discuss why it's important for GCSEs. And the reason being is because the GCSE system awards people who can manage themselves. The curriculum is packed and time is short, and the teacher doesn't have enough time to cater to every single student that they teach. If you're dependent on reminders, structure, or even help, you're going to fall behind fast. However, if you're an independent learner, you will adapt. You learn faster, revise smarter, and you stay ahead. This is the one trait that separates from those students who just get by to those who stand out. So now, let me explain some non-GCSE related reasons. So let's start off by sixth form or college applications. I see this every year. There's two types of students. There's the ones that know exactly what college or sixth form they want to go to, what course they want to study, when the open days are, and when they need to apply by. And then there's the other type of students who don't even know what they want to do after school, let alone going to any open days or applying to colleges or sixth forms. Of course, the first type of student are the independent ones. They know exactly what they need to do, and then they go ahead and seek that support, whether that's doing their own research, talking to teachers, or even a careers advisor. So by now, if you're still watching, you understand the importance of independence, but now let me explain how to build this. So the first thing you want to do is you want to have your goals set out. You need to know exactly what grades you want to achieve and where you want to go afterwards. Until this is not done, you won't have any self-drive to study. You'll always feel like you're being forced to study because you don't even know what you're working towards. Next, you need to research everything. Look at what needs to be covered. I mean, in terms of content, how many exams you're going to be sitting and when they'll be. Now you can create a plan on how you'll cover this. This could be partially from your school lessons, some from your self-study, and if you're lucky, even some from a tutor. Now you've done all of these steps, you can take full control to make sure you achieve this. This is by keeping a consistent schedule and stop waiting for others to do things for you. So now, let me give you a few bonus exercises that you can do so that you can build your independence. So from now onwards, stop outsourcing responsibility. Next time you fail a test, don't blame your teacher. What I want you to do instead is ask yourself, what didn't I do? Because this question will make you think by yourself and act on your own. Now, another exercise you can do is that when you're told something to do, try doing it on your own and without anyone's support. Now, just to make this clear, I'm not talking about content of a GCSE subject or something GCSE related. This could be anything. So let me give you an example for some of the students that we teach. When we ask students to upload their homework, we ask that it's submitted in PDF format. Now, instead of saying, I don't know how to do that, or I don't know how to make it into a PDF, what an independent student should do is research yourself. How can I scan something in and make it into a PDF? And once you start researching these things, you'll truly realize how important independence is. Now, to summarize, remember, no one's coming here to save you, and that's the hard truth. But the good news is you don't need saving, because once you become independent, you take control, not only in your GCSEs, but for your whole future. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video useful, share it with a friend if you want them to know this secret.